and welcome to Spring Break Family Book Club. I'm Miss Stephanie.
I'm Miss Mandy.
And I'm Miss Emma.
And we're here at the beautiful Mission Trails Park. So for this month, we have two very special programs. We have one for younger kiddos called Adventures with Friends, which you will be seeing in the next video. But in this video, we have our older kids book club program, where we will be featuring our graphic novels by local San Diego author Dan Santat. So we'll be reading a few pages from the beginning of each of these graphic novels for you to get you started at home. Also in today's video, we're going to give you some tips and ideas of some activities that you can do at home that are all about these graphic novels, also some discussion ideas, and a really yummy recipe a little bit later. All right, so let's get started.
The Aquanaut, Whittle Sea, 74 degrees south by 52 degrees west, 0200 hours. Mayday, mayday! Mayday, mayday! Mayday, mayday! Michel! This is Captain Michel Revoy of the Miette research vessel. Does anyone read? Over. We have to go now. Blast it! This thing is worthless! Crack! Paul, grab what you can! Swoop! Crash! Ah! Michel, the ship is about to sink. If we work together, we can get you out. I'm gonna get help. I'll be... Paul, I'm not gonna make it. It's our life's work. Take it, or this is all for nothing. You need to go. Tell Sophia. Beep, 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 beep. I can't hear you. Beep, beep, beep. Crash. Michelle, the hull has been breached. Paul, come on. Huh? We've got to go. The ship will go down any minute. But he's still in there. We have to save him. We're sorry, Paul, but there isn't any more time. Michelle. Beep, beep. Paul. Huh? Brr. Huff, huff. Chatter, chatter, chatter. Huff, huff. Bubble, 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 bubble. We're so sorry, Paul. Had we known Michelle was trapped, we would have come sooner. We did what we thought was right. Grrrk. Michelle! Michelle! Michelle!
Hey families! Well, spring break is finally here. Woo-hoo!
Yay!
And we're bringing back the ever popular graphic novel. This month, our book selections include The Aquanaut and A First Time for Everything. Both of these graphic novels are by local author Dan Santat. Dan Santat is an author from Southern California and the Caldecott medal-winning creator of The Adventures of Beagle, the Unimaginary Friend, which we are reading in our other virtual program, which is geared for ages 2 to 12. Dan is the author and illustrator of over 100 books for young people. He's also illustrated for other children's authors, including Min Lei, who is the author of Drawn Together, which is the book we featured in November's program. In this program, we are going to focus on the Aquanaut. So after Sophia's father is lost at sea, Sophia spends a lot of her time at Aqualand. This is the marine theme park that her father, Michel, and her uncle Paul worked on creating together. So one day, a mysterious aquanaut shows up, and some tiny little sea creatures cause quite a stir in this fun fantasy adventure story. A First Time for Everything is a book recommended for kids ages 10 and up. A First Time for Everything is a coming-of-age story that many can relate to. It tells about some of the hardships that young people face and the journey of learning how to navigate through the teenage years. During a much-anticipated trip to Europe, Dan pretty much has his first experiences with a lot of different things. A cool feature that you'll find at the very beginning of this book is the QR code that you can go ahead and scan, and that'll take you right to Dan's page where you'll find a link to a mixtape, which is the very music that Dan listened to while he was on his European trip. Also, there's some photographs that you can click on that will take you to the very locations that Dan visited during his trip. So go ahead and give this a try so you can kind of create your own experience through Europe, following along in Dan Santat's graphic novel, A First Time for Everything. So let's discuss graphic novels. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about some special features and characteristics. So what is a graphic novel, you might ask? Well, a graphic novel is a book that's made up of a comic strip format, but with longer and more complex stories than traditional comic books. The graphic novels typically combine both text and art to tell a story, often in a more serious way than a comic book. Stories are longer than traditional comic books and are usually published as a standalone book versus a series. And there are lots of genres to choose from when you're selecting a graphic novel, like fantasy, science fiction, there's autobiographies, and my favorite, historical fiction. So what are the parts of a graphic novel? Well, there's the cover page, the outermost part of the book, often featuring artwork or a design that represents the story. Then there's the title page, the page at the beginning of the book that displays the title, author, illustrator, and publisher information. The panels are the individual frames that contain a single scene or moment of the story. Panels are usually arranged sequentially to tell the narrative. So sound effects and onomatopoeia are words that are used to represent sound and are often depicted in a very stylized way. Basically, onomatopoeia is a figure of speech where words imitate the natural sounds of things. So for example, slap, zap, or bang. So the back cover is the back of the book, which often contains a summary of the story, additional artwork, and other information. So there are numerous benefits for young kids who read graphic novels, and these include encouragement for reluctant readers. So graphic novels can be less intimidating for a reluctant reader, as the combination of visuals and text can be enticing and fun. Promotion of creativity. So graphic novels inspire creativity through storytelling, arts, and character development. Expansion of vocabulary. Exposure to different types of texts and visuals can expand a child's vocabulary. Cultural awareness. Graphic novels often explore diverse cultures and experiences, which help kids develop empathy and understanding. Visual literacy. Graphic novels can help teach kids how to interpret visual cues like facial expressions and body language, which is a valuable social skill. Okay, are you guys feeling hungry? I know I am, so let's get ready to make some French bread pizza. You'll need a loaf of French bread, butter, garlic powder, pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, and your favorite toppings. I'm going to be using pepperoni and black olives. So step 1, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. First, grown-ups can slice the loaf of bread in half. So spread the butter on top and sprinkle some garlic powder. This is to make the garlic bread base. Go ahead and place that in the oven and bake it for 3 to 5 minutes until lightly toasted. Step 2 is to add your toppings. Go ahead and top it with your favorite pizza sauce, add some mozzarella cheese. I'm going to add pepperoni and black olives. What are your favorite toppings? Alright, so go ahead and place your pizza back in the oven and bake it for an additional 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, go ahead and remove it from the oven. Cut it into some slices and enjoy it while it's warm. Okay, so next is a graphic novel trivia and vocabulary building game. So go ahead and grab the entire family and I'll tell you all about how to play it. All right, kiddos and grown-ups, it is time to play Test Your Book Brain Mites. So before playing the game, make sure that you've listened to the parent and child education topic, which I just went over, that tells you all about graphic novels. And make sure you've already read The Aquanaut. Alright, so anyone can play this game as there is going to be multiple choice answers for most of the questions. But if you did happen to read The Aquanaut, you are going to have an advantage over everyone else. So make sure you read it first. Alright, so you'll want to have a pencil and paper handy. Go ahead and write your name at the top of the paper and number your paper 1 through 20. These are going to be where you write the answers to your questions. Alright, so in this game, you're going to need to answer 20 questions. You're going to have 10 seconds to answer each question. And you'll want to answer before the clock runs out. Otherwise, you don't get a point for that question. At the end, score your paper to see how many points you scored. For each correct answer, give yourself 1 point. Most of the questions are going to be multiple choice. However, there will be one question that won't be. You're going to have to write out your answer. If you get that question correct, go ahead and give yourself double points. So give yourself 2 points for that question if you got it correct. The final score sheet will be revealed at the end of the game for you to check your answers. Alright, so go ahead and pause here. Make sure you've listened to the portion all about graphic novels and make sure you've read The Aquanaut before playing. Alright, have fun with it! Which book did author Dan Santat write? A. The Diving Suit, B. The Aquanaut, C. Tales of the Sea Creatures. In The Aquanaut, what two animals does the crab set free? A. A sea turtle and a clownfish, B. An octopus and a shark, C. An orca and a squid. On a graphic novel, what is often featured on the cover? A. Artwork that represents the book, B. A summary of the book, C. The first chapter. In The Aquanaut, what is the octopus's name? A. Paul, B. Carlos, C. Michel. What might the title page display in a graphic novel? A. Title, B. Author, C. Illustrator, D. Publisher information, E. All of the above. In The Aquanaut, what is the uncle's name? A. Antonio, B. Michel, C. Paul. Graphic novels are usually divided into A. Chapter or sections, B. Batches, C. Categories. In The Aquanaut, what does Sophia ask Uncle Paul to help her with? A, her chores, B, her math quiz, C, her science project. What are panels in graphic novels? A, frames for containing the scene, B, artwork, C, another word for chapters. In the Aquanaut, why do the sea creatures want to get to Aqualand? A, to go shopping, B, to find a safe home, C, to go on rides. What are these called? In the Aquanaut, how do the sea creatures free the orca? A, they use a forklift and van. B, they used a tractor and bus. C, they used a crane and truck. What is onomatopoeia? A, symbols or pictures. B, words that imitate sound. C, a type of animal. In the Aquanaut, what happens to Carlos's tentacle? A, it gets slammed in the door. B, it gets stuck under a chair. C, it gets wrapped around Antonio. What might the back cover contain on a graphic novel? A, title page, B, table of contents, C, additional artwork and summary. What is the young girl's name in the Aquanaut? A, Paulette, B, Sophia, C, Illionette. Where is author Dan Santat from? A, Southern California, B, Central California, C, Northern California. In the Aquanaut, whose diving suit are the animals controlling? A, Paul, Sophia's uncle, B, Michelle, Sophia's dad, or C, Sophia's? In the Aquanaut, why does Mr. Lula want to keep the creatures and the suit? A, to keep them as pets, B, to wear the suit, C, to make money. Which book did Dan Santat illustrate? A, Drawn Together, B, The Belly Button Book, C, Not Norman. Alright, so now it's time for you all to make your very own graphic novel. So using your handout, How to Read Graphic Novels, and the panels template that we provided, try coming up with your very own story. Now that you're very familiar with graphic novels, I'm sure you'll be able to come up with something very creative and fun. So check out Miss Mandy's graphic novel, The Adventures of Miss Stephanie and Miss Mandy, just to give you a little bit of inspiration. Alright, I hope you all have fun with this one. Okay, families, well, I hope you enjoy trying out some of these activities and reading the rest of Dan Santat's graphic novels, and we'll see you all in the next video. Bye!